Hello and welcome to Tokenomics. I'm Manisha Gupta. Well, the cryptocurrency Bitcoin is celebrating its 16th birthday. The first decentralized cryptocurrency was invented in 2009 but officially started trading by mid-2010. The Bitcoin network was created when Nakamoto mined the starting block of the chain known as Genesis block. Bitcoin has maximum of 21 million coins and that can ever be created. So with this fixed supply and an ever-increasing demand, Bitcoin has seen a long-term price growth. So even as Bitcoin launched in 2009, the signs of a standard pricing can only be seen by mid-2010. The first time ever that Bitcoin was used to buy something in real world was in 2010 itself. It was 2 pizzas which costed 10,000 Bitcoins at that point in time. A Bitcoin was at around $0.3 in 2010. In 2011, Bitcoin ranged between $2 to $30 on the higher side. 2012 was a year of consolidation with Bitcoin ending the year at $13. 2013 taught Bitcoin enthusiasts the insane volatility that the crypto would come to be known for years to come. 2013 saw a range of $20 to $1,200. The signature volatility continued in 2014 with Bitcoin ranging $1,000 in the beginning of the year to end 2014 at just above $300. Bitcoin saw 2 years of range-bound trades, 2015 and 2016. But it was only by 2017, which was a different story altogether. We saw Bitcoin at $19,000, and by the time it was December 2017, another very volatile year is what we ended with. 2018 was a year with 73% decline, and 2019 played in the range. 2020, a COVID year, started slow but closed at all-time highs of $28,000 as liquidity from central banks increased. 2021 saw Bitcoin making a record $64,000 by mid-April amidst high liquidity. This was the time that China announced all crypto transactions illegal. The gas prices were higher, the environment concerns highlighted. After various warnings in 2021 and 2022, India as well introduced 30% tax on crypto profits, and on 1st of April, it was also about 1% TDS implemented later in 1st of July 2022. By end of 22, Bitcoin sank to less than $16,000. A high-profile blow-up such as FTX hurt traders' confidence. Bitcoin came out of the crypto winter in 23 and in 2024 made all-time highs at $108,000. Well, money poured into the newly launched Bitcoin ETFs, and then amid market enthusiasm following the election victory of crypto-friendly former President Donald Trump. 2025 would be interesting to watch, as while we are starting the year with big hopes, but will it turn that way? Only the year will tell. Well, to discuss this further and to understand on what 2025 can look like when it comes to blockchain and cryptocurrencies, we are now joined by Vignesh Raja. He's director at the business at HBAR Foundation, and Himanshu Maradiya is founder and chairman at crypto trading platform CIFDAQ. Gentlemen, hi, thank you so much for joining in. And what exciting 16 years is what we've seen. Vignesh, I've spoken to you so many times in the past few years, and 2024 is by far the best that we've seen in various ways, whether it has been about various countries taking in Bitcoin as a legal tender to a very positive sentiment that the US really seems to be putting out as well. What is your sense, the way we've ended 2024 and we've entered 2025, what is it that you would look at now for the new year?
Thanks again, Manisha. First, I want to wish everybody a new year. Thanks again for inviting me here. So it's been a long journey, as you know, we have been discussing, I've been coming in the earlier calls. I think it's an exciting journey that we have been through crypto. I've been in the journey from 2013. I've seen the ups and downs. What's positive about now is the new, the way people are looking at 2025. I think with the new administration coming in and pro SEC chairman on the board, I think we are looking at a very positive outlook for cryptocurrency, and especially especially for Bitcoin. And we see that especially a lot of regulations are going to be in favor, and we'll see a lot of institutions getting in and probably allocating some of their reserves especially in the Bitcoin side and also in the other cryptocurrencies as well. So overall, I think it's looking very positive, especially where I am in Dubai. As you know, so regulators are very, very open to discuss, and we are seeing a lot of positive trends here, and we're expecting a global, upward trend, positive trend happening as well globally.
Oh, well, yes. Almost everybody who's in some sense or the other connected to blockchain or cryptocurrencies seems to be getting into 2025 on a very, very positive note. Himanshu, what has been your sense? I mean, these 16 years, while have had a lot of highs, have seen much more lows as well. So it's been a sweet and sour kind of a journey. But from where we stand right now, how would you look at 2025?
Yeah, so Manisha, thank you so much for inviting me over here. And yes, as I fully agree with Vignesh, like I'm very positive about year 2025 onwards for crypto because first of all, like in US, very pro crypto president is supposed to be there for at least a tenure of 4 years, and we see a very positive regulation to start from US with SEC chairman onboarded. Then European Union is also coming up with a very matured, I would say, kind of regulation. So US, Europe, and almost all the developed countries are coming up with, or either already have come up with good regulation. On the other side, because of ETF in US or other countries, the great institutional funds are flowing into the decentralized economy, and more countries would bring ETFs as well as, like, apart from Bitcoin and ETF, we could see like XRP, like ETF also kind of coming up. So that will generate interest from maybe institutions, retail, and sovereign wealth funds as well. So yeah, from all the perspectives, year 2025 seems to be a very positive year to look forward for.
Well, yes, all the points that you mentioned, whether it's about positive cues coming in from US, more countries warming to the sector, and institutional investment are some of the supportive factors here. Vignesh, when you look at Bitcoin itself, and it's a 16-year journey, and we've seen more altcoins and stable coins and meme coins since then come into the fore as well. There was a time we were talking about NFTs and DeFi and yielding of interest that we've seen. How are you looking at all of those numbers right now? Because for the Indian markets as well, since the time those taxes came in, we've seen a bit of a slowdown here.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot talk much about the Indian market, but definitely on the global market, I can definitely say, because we ourselves as a layer one blockchain, as you know, HBAR is one of the top layer one blockchain. And you also must have seen the recent surge in the token that shows that there is a greater interest from the institutions, also from the retail side of things, towards altcoins. And I mean, as long as you provide value, I think people will be definitely adopting. And we also launched, like the previous gentleman said, a lot of ETFs coming in, and HBAR also, along with a partner called Canary Capital, we announced an ETF earlier last year. So a lot of institutions are basically adopting, and they're also looking at, getting a reserve in the alt currencies as well. Now we also see opportunities where stable coins will be a lot of stable coins that will be coming in, especially the institutions will be starting to basically, getting into stable coins. And the good thing about it is regulators are supporting it. And especially if you see in the Middle East market, which I can talk about, there's a lot of opportunities here. And regulators are backing and also giving licenses to stable coins here. And recently there's an announcement made for an AED-based stablecoin. So that's a good thing, and that will provide a lot of liquidity in the market, giving also kind of a confidence to institutions and also retail people to come in and to be part of this exciting journey.
Vignesh, what is also your sense? Because while we've seen a lot of countries warm up to this, and as has been the case, most of the countries and regulators believe that it's not just about one country taking a case against or for it. It really has to be a global thing. And we've heard Indian finance minister as well say that. Would you say that really is the case going forward? If there is a rule or regulation that has to be created in sense of cryptocurrencies, it would have to be a more global stance.
Exactly. I think definitely US being always the place, for the innovation, and they have the ground. So what I think is with the American markets probably redefining everything coming year, we're expecting a lot of changes, a lot of loosening up for cryptocurrency companies to basically go back and set up operations. Because I've spoken to a lot of friends who are American citizens, who are the American companies. they, usually they used to come to Dubai to set up companies, UAE, in Dubai, and Abu Dhabi. Now they are looking to go back. They are very positive. Some of these companies are basically trying to go back to US itself, trying to wait for till the new administration comes in, have a look, and then probably, if it all goes well, set up the companies over there. So we see that it'll all percolate from there. But eventually, we are hopefully, the Indian government also has to look into it and probably reduce and make it easy for entrepreneurs and even for institutions to encourage them to looking at cryptocurrency a bit more seriously and enable a very good Web3 ecosystem. It'll eventually help the economy, right? It's all about how it's going to help the economy. And a lot of, I know, Indian entrepreneurs like me, for example, I'm based in Dubai. So, so we definitely want to help the country, and definitely would like to come back and to see how we can be part of the ecosystem as well, if the regulations and everything is a bit favored to us.
Vignesh, well, yes, as you have done, so have a lot of other entrepreneurs, startups as well, which started in India but have grown only outside India because India did not give clarity, one, and did not give that supporting system as well. So what would it take for you to come back into India? What kind of rules and regulations are you hoping for?
Yeah, especially, the crypto gains tax, and especially more clarity on the taxes part of things, definitely personal tax. And also, I think, is the whole fear about, I think it's unnecessary fear. Definitely, there should be regulations. I mean, everywhere there should be regulations. That's definitely there. But, just encourage startups to, and encourage startups to set up companies there. And especially allow institutions, allow institutions, give them give them comfort, and the central bank and everybody has to give them comfort to use these alternative currencies, so that once they do it, then it'll be kind of a business flow, and eventually the retailers also will be taking part of it, and that's what we are looking at. Some kind of a clear visibility on the taxes and more re-regulations on the startups, helping them to come on board like a sandbox for the startup space. This is what Dubai has done very well. I would say I've been here for almost 10, 13 years. I've seen the entire journey. It was very tough to even get a bank account if you're a cryptocurrency company. Now, if you see the past 1 year, we have an OTC desk nearby. I can just go to an OTC exchange, like a normal currency exchange, and convert my crypto into cash. Fully regulated. I don't have to worry. Then you have a bank account. I can set up any of the crypto companies which is licensed by the regulator here. Then I can easily connect my bank account, no fears, nothing. So this has to be very gradually done. But this is the country that's already done it. I know we are not a small country, but we can do something, right? And at least help entrepreneurs, also institutions to adopt. And again, the thing is for a greater good of the country, and also for the new age entrepreneurs.
Oh, well, absolutely. I have to tell you, I was in Brazil recently, and a few restaurants that we went to had a board outside saying that, accept Bitcoin here as services. So clearly, there are some countries who are, warming up to this. But Himanshu, this one is to you. So what is it that you would look forward to in 2025 in sense of regulations, in sense of clarity or growth within the sector?
So, as I said earlier, I'm seeing that things are turning positive, especially from the regulatory aspect. So if you consider, then almost 30, 35 plus regulators are there who are coming up with a good set of regulation for all the products in the blockchain ecosystem. And yes, definitely the rise of stable coins also getting regulated. So it's all turning positive. And see, this is everything takes time. And if you consider from India perspective, because I shifted my base from Dubai to India. So I see a very positive, stance of Indian government, and as we are well exposed to regulations of various countries. So maybe in a self-regulated manner, taking into consideration the law of land and understanding how centralized government works, we can certainly do our business in India as well. And maybe in some time, we look forward for a good set of regulations in India as well.
Well, all right. So the bottom line clearly is about regulations and clarity on taxes going forward if the space has to really grow. And it's interesting to know that Vignesh went from India to Dubai, and Himanshu, you've come from Dubai to India, and both looking at the same sector. So we really hope that 2025 works really well for both of you. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining in and, of course, reacting to what really to expect in 2025. Well, with that, we are slipping into a short break, but don't go anywhere. We continue our discussion on Bitcoin with former RBI Executive Director Deepali, Pant, Joshi on the other side. Welcome back to Tokenomics. We shift our focus to the cons of cryptocurrencies. To shed some light on it, we are now joined by Deepali Pant Joshi. She's former Executive Director at the Reserve Bank of India. Deepali, hi, thank you so much for joining in. And while my previous segment was all about hope and good cheer, we are hoping that you will balance this out. What really is the market looking forward to is some clarity when it comes to regulations. I mean, most of the countries really are working on it. But what is the stance that you see India taking on this?
Well, I see a very nuanced and calibrated stance, and that's talking like a typical central banker saying not much. So let me tell you what exactly the fear is with crypto, okay? Crypto started out as a currency, the payment system, and it was a swift, seamless payment system operated through blockchain, good technology, and at no point has the RBI said anything about the blockchain. But crypto has now become a commodity. It's become an exciting commodity, and FOMO seems to be hitting the younger generation, and everybody wants a piece of that action. So now, having said that, let me tell you who's afraid of crypto and why are they afraid of crypto. Why does the RBI have reservations? And yes, the RBI has reservations on crypto. Why is there no guardrail? Why is there no institutional framework for crypto yet? Crypto, by its very definition, operates outside the regulated. It is a private currency. Is it legal or is it illegal? That's a very difficult question to answer. The Supreme Court says it is not illegal. But can it be easily used for illegal purposes? Sure, it can. If you go to the dark web. And what does that lead to? Something the entire world is afraid of, terror funding. Now, I'm just giving you the doom and gloom scenarios here. I'll give you some cheer too. So I've explained why regulators are uncomfortable with crypto. They cannot regulate it. What is the main thing which you hear the RBI doing? Every time you keep hearing whether there's going to be a rate cut or not going to be a rate cut. How does RBI control its monetary policy? But how does RBI control its monetary policy when it has no way of extrapolating? You see, we have X amount of currency which we decide is circulating each year, and then we have the monetary policy, and we see the credit needs of the economy and so on and so forth. But in crypto, it's something blank. You don't know what it is. So you don't have control of your monetary policy. You don't have control of your financial system. Why do banks fear crypto? Because there'll be disintermediation. Even now, would you rather invest in Bitcoin, which is going through the roof, or in an FD, which is going to give you 6% return? It's a no-brainer. You'll go and invest in crypto. Correct. Great. So the banks will not have the deposit bandwidth to create the credit, because credit is always backed by deposits. And crypto has got no backing. It has got no legal backing. If tomorrow you bank with a systemically important bank and that bank goes down the tube for whatever good reason or bad reason, there is the Deposit Insurance Credit Guarantee Corporation, which is going to insure your deposits. But if your crypto exchange goes out of business, sorry, there's no one who's going to step in to help you.
Oh, well, yes.
Then if you live like in a city like I do in Allahabad, where there are frequent outages, I shouldn't have named the city, but if there's an outage of electricity, if your computer just chooses to crash, or it's a long, your key is very long, it's numeric, it's alphanumeric, and you forget it. So you have no key, so you can open no door, and that money goes for a toss.
Understandable. Ms. Pant, let me come to you with one thing. With understanding of all of this, but as you said, people are FOMO'd and people do look at very high returns, is the reason we've seen a lot of Indians invested in it. I mean, nowhere near the number that we saw in 2021. That came down after those taxes came in. But we do all understand that it's a global phenomena. Is the reason we've seen all these statements and concerns and warnings come in, but no clarity?
No, there will be no clarity as long as the government knows how it can put a GST on it or tax you. So the government needs, in any financial transaction, to also get its how shall I put it? What did Shylock want? He wanted a piece of the action. So that becomes very difficult because you don't know how to tax it. Then it's very volatile. Today it's on the upswing. And even as we speak, every minute that we speak, it's either going higher or it's going lower. So how do you fix on the value? How do you protect your investor? Right now, the sentiment is absolutely positive. But what happens when the wind turns? How did we get to the global financial crisis? Because, at one point, there was so much of euphoria with mortgages being sold. And all of a sudden, the interest rates hardened and the wind turned. So it's not that Bitcoin has not crashed. And Bitcoin has many forms. It's Ether, it's Ethereum, it's Doge. So no one really knows how. And in 2041, they say that, you can no longer mine it. But right now, you can buy it and you can sell it. And there are exchanges. And the only thing is, which the regulator fears, which governments fear, is that there is a complete anonymity to the purchase, to the sale. So that means it's something which you are not very comfortable with.
I get that. But Ms. Pant, you also promised me that you'll leave me with some pros as well, some cheer. And what really is that is something I'm waiting to hear.
I'm just coming to that. As I said, that it's a first-rate payment system. It's seamless. It's immediate. And there is no fraud involved because there's a blockchain which is tracking each and every transaction at every point in time. So actually, it's looking at terror funding, it's looking at PMLA, and it's protecting you against those. So these are the bright spots. The other bright spot is the technology which it uses. Now, consider if you have a CBDC which validates your identity. I mean, you say you're Manisha Gupta tomorrow, I say I'm Manisha Gupta, you say you're Deepali Pant online. Who is going to be able to find out except the good system of the blockchain and the Bitcoin, which will validate your identity without even needing to ask for your Aadhaar card. It will know who you are and what you're about. So this is a big thing. Then there are very positive spin-offs in finance because there is no gridlock in the settlement of a transaction, the nightmare of every central banker and banker. Everything is seamlessly being settled, even as we are talking, right? It's done, it's there. And then there are those great blocks. So you have to understand that this tokenization is a very good thing. And now banks are also on the bandwagon.
True.
And RBI has also said that at one point, like Kotak Bank is there, it will allow you to buy, sell, use its platform. And then supply chain. I mean, how useful will it be for your supply chains? Because it will be able to track each and every transaction that is happening. And there's a digital identity which is validated, the credentials. So this decentralized distributed ledger technology, which is a kind of automatic double entry bookkeeping, is a win-win in every way.
Oh, well, absolutely.
In healthcare, it'll take all our medical records. It'll sort everything out for us. It'll sort the billing process. It'll sort the insurance claims. So a lot of positives, Manisha.
But as you said, as far as it's tech and it's digital bookkeeping and it's a payment system, it's all very positive. But the minute it turns into something else where people start investing and playing and speculating and treat it as a commodity and start FOMOing about is where it starts to go down. Ms. Pant, thank you so much for joining us. You totally balanced it for me on what really are the goods and the bads and what really will we have to wait and watch out for in 2025. It's been great talking to you, and I really hope we can do more of these conversations on air and off air as well and talk about what really can be done. But an absolute pleasure to have you on the show and have this conversation. With that, it's a wrap on this episode of Tokenomics. Thank you so much for watching.